One night, Driss was driving his boss Philippe through the streets of Paris. When they encountered heavy traffic, Driss broke the speed limit and started driving very fast, which led to the police chasing them. Driss bet 100 euros that he could escape from the police, but under a bridge, the police surrounded their car from both sides. He wasn't bothered by this at all and confidently bet his friends that the police would let them go. As soon as he got out of the car, he started acting in front of the police, saying that something had happened to Philippe, and since he was already paralyzed, they couldn't take any risks. That's why he was rushing him to the hospital. The police officers saw the wheelchair in the back of the car, and Philippe also started his drama. Seeing this, the police not only let them go, but also assigned a car to escort them quickly to the hospital. But as soon as the police left and before the hospital staff arrived, they drove away and quickly escaped from there. Celebrating his win, Driss played party songs and smoked. A few months earlier, Philippe and his manager Magali were conducting interviews for a new caretaker, but so far, none of the candidates had impressed them. Just then, Driss arrived, who wasn't worried about the interview at all. He just needed to get some papers signed saying they couldn't give him a job, so he could easily take advantage of the unemployment scheme. He was a street-smart kind of guy, and as soon as he entered, he started flirting with Magali in a very bold manner. Because of his antics, Philippe became very interested in him. He asked Driss to come back the next day for the papers. After this, Driss reached his small house, where his younger siblings were bothering him a lot. Then he saw his brother Adama getting out of a black car through the window. Coming home, Adama said he was just coming from school and went out again, which made Driss even more suspicious of him. In the evening, when their mother returned home, Driss gave her a golden egg as a gift, which he had stolen from Philippe's house. But his mother started yelling at him because he had been missing for the past 6 months. She kicked Driss out of the house, saying that this is a home, not a hotel where you can just show up. The next morning, when Driss arrived at Philippe's house, his maid Yvonne showed him around the entire house and explained all of Philippe's tasks. Then she showed Driss his room and bathroom, which left him wide-eyed. Just then Philippe called him, gave him the papers, and offered him a 1-month trial job. Driss agreed, but Philippe bet that he wouldn't last even 2 weeks. After putting his belongings in his room, Driss learned all the necessary tasks for taking care of Philippe. From bathing to changing his clothes, all the work had to be done by him. He even had to clean Philippe's backside after he used the toilet. He complained a lot, but ultimately accepted the job. At dinner that night, he met Philippe's daughter Elisa and her boyfriend, who were looking for a private place to spend some time, but Driss kicked both of them out. The boss's daughter might get upset, let her be. The scene shouldn't be ruined. Driss learned all the work in just a few days. He would also read letters that came for Philippe to him, but there were some letters he wasn't allowed to open. Despite all this work, Driss lived comfortably. Whenever he got the chance, he would definitely flirt with Magali. One morning, Driss had to take Philippe for a drive in the car, but he didn't put Philippe in the back like luggage. Instead, he seated him in a sports car next to him. Initially, Philippe didn't like this either, but later he also got excited. When they went outside, a man had parked his car at their door. Without wasting time, Driss grabbed that man by the collar and showed him the no parking board outside the house. Philippe was also very impressed by his action. Then both of them reached a museum where Philippe was going to buy a painting, but Driss said, "Uncle, have you lost it? I know you have blind money, but you don't waste it like this. Who buys red paint splattered on an empty canvas, brother?" After this, Philippe met one of his relatives who told him that Driss wasn't the right person and he had even been to jail once. But Philippe didn't care about this. He liked Driss because, unlike other people, he didn't pity him. He always treated him like a normal person and kept him engaged. Later at night, Yvonne told Driss that the letters he couldn't open were actually from a woman named Eleanor, with whom Philippe exchanged letters, but they had never met each other. At night, when he was trying to sleep, he started hearing sounds from Philippe's baby monitor. He was having trouble breathing. Even though Driss tried, he couldn't ignore it and went to his room to calm him down. He cleaned Philippe's face with a wet cloth and finally, he fell asleep. But within moments, his breathing started getting stuck again. This time, without hesitation, Driss put him in the wheelchair and covered him with a blanket and took him for a walk by the river. After who knows how long, Philippe had come to the streets of Paris at night. He told Driss that sometimes the atmosphere works better at reducing pain than medicines. When the pain started again, Driss asked him to smoke weed with him. At first, Philippe was a bit hesitant, but after smoking, he also felt quite light. After this, both of them enjoyed eating at a restaurant. Getting a bit emotional, Philippe told Driss his entire life story. He and his wife had loved each other since school days, and after their marriage, unfortunately, they had 5 miscarriages, after which they decided to adopt Elisa. Philippe had a great passion for high-speed adventure sports, and one day while paragliding, an accident happened which led to his condition. He lost his wife in that same accident. Just then, Philippe remembered that Driss's 1 month was complete, and now his job was permanent. But first, he had to return that golden egg to Philippe because his wife had given it to him as a gift. The next day, Driss met his sister Mina and asked her to find that egg. During their conversation, Driss learned that the police had been circling their house for quite some time. He understood that Adama must be in some trouble, so he quickly went to meet him. Actually, 30 grams of drugs had been found on Adama. Driss wanted to take him along, but he got into that black car once again. Driss left from there feeling frustrated. Later, he was sitting with Philippe writing a letter for Eleanor. He was surprised that till now both of them hadn't even seen each other's pictures. He took out Eleanor's number from the letters and directly made Philippe talk to her. After this, both of them would talk on the phone day and night. After this, they selected a picture of Philippe and sent it to Eleanor. Later, when Driss was painting, Elisa came to ask him for a cigarette and started making fun of his painting. Driss angrily kicked her out of the room. Meanwhile, Philippe was changing the picture in the letter and putting his picture from before he became paralyzed. He was thinking that seeing the wheelchair, Eleanor might stop talking to him. Just then Driss arrived to complain about Elisa, and Philippe was very surprised that he could also paint. As days passed, their friendship deepened. Driss would take him to play in the snow, and both of them would go for morning walks together. Driss showed his first painting to Magali, who was slightly impressed seeing it, but when he moved forward to kiss her, she slapped Driss hard on the face. Anyway, Philippe really liked the painting and promised to sell it. When Philippe's birthday came, he wasn't very happy because his relatives would show up every year to see if he was still alive. At the birthday party, everyone was enjoying boring classical music. During this, Driss saw that Elisa was crying in her room. When he asked, Elisa told him that her boyfriend had broken up with her. Hearing this, Philippe started laughing and said, "Are you a little kid or what?" Meanwhile, Philippe sold Driss's painting to one of his relatives for 11,000 euros. At mealtime, Yvonne told Driss that Magali was in love with someone named Fred. Later, Philippe asked Driss to listen to some old classical music, but instead of enjoying it, he started laughing loudly. He started playing his street party songs and dancing, and everyone else followed him. At night, he read Eleanor's letter to Philippe, in which she had said that she was coming to Paris next week and had also sent her picture. On the day of the date with Eleanor, Driss and Yvonne made Philippe try on many suits, and after much deliberation, they finally liked one suit. Yvonne took him for the date, and Driss went to threaten Elisa's boyfriend. When he agreed to apologize to Elisa, only then did Driss let him go. At the restaurant, Yvonne and Philippe were waiting for Eleanor. When she didn't come even after an hour, Philippe called Driss to take him home. As he came out of the restaurant, Eleanor entered, but neither of them saw each other. Philippe took Driss on his private plane for a ride and also gave him money for his painting, which made him very happy. Both of them headed towards the mountains the next morning, and Philippe decided to go paragliding once again, but on the condition that Driss would also go with him. Driss's condition became weak at first, but later he also started enjoying it. Returning home, he saw that Adama was waiting for him there. There were injury marks on his face, but he was still not ready to tell Driss the whole truth. Driss made him sit there and went to put Philippe to sleep, but he couldn't fall asleep.
So he asked Driss about his family.
Hesitantly, he told that uncle and aunt had adopted him because aunt couldn't have children. But after uncle's death, many men came and many children were born, whom they all had to take care of together. He also told Philippe about Adama. Hearing his story, Philippe told him to leave the job and focus on home. After all, how long would he keep taking care of an old man? The next day, when Driss was packing to leave, he thought he'd flirt with Magali one last time. But Magali introduced him to Fred, who was actually a girl. Actually, Magali wasn't interested in boys at all. The next day, Philippe met his new caretaker, who was extremely boring, so he quietly left without eating anything. On the other side, Driss started living his old life. He also clearly told the man with the black car not to even hang around Adama. Philippe started becoming sad. One night, he had severe pain, but he didn't take anyone's help. Finally, Yvonne had to call Driss, and we reached the beginning of the story. After this, he shaved Philippe's beard and took him to a restaurant where someone was supposed to meet him. Driss wished him all the best, returned his golden egg, and left from there. His date was none other than Eleanor. She was very happy to see him, and she had no problem with Philippe's wheelchair. This is a true story in which Philippe and Eleanor finally get married. Both of them are still true friends today. Do you have such a friend for whom you can do anything? If yes, then write a line about them in the comments.